Today, we continue to talk about the book from Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. Last time, I was talking about what inner voices are and how we can quiet them down. And today, let's switch the gear a little bit, talking about speaking. In the book, Chris mentioned that going too fast is one of the mistakes all negotiators prone to making. And if we're too much in a hurry, people can feel as if they are not being heard. So basically, what he said is going too fast or being in a hurry can potentially jeopardize a negotiation. What does Chris mean when he says being in a hurry? It does not necessarily mean someone talk really fast. It means during the conversation when people just only want to focus on their own agenda and they see finishing that agenda is the only important thing in that conversation. Think about it. If you are in that mindset, it's very easy for people to just only care about what I have to say. Can I finish what I have planned to say? Rather than caring about if my audience, if my listener can follow me, understand me. Moreover, they turn to ignore what others have to say just for the sake of finishing their own agenda. Like for example, once I was on a date, it's dinner date at a restaurant. The girl asked me, oh yeah, you're from Wuhan. Is your family okay during the pandemic? I heard it was pretty bad there. I was like, oh, that is so nice for you to ask. And then I start to explain, oh yeah, it was pretty bad, but everything turns out okay. Everything turned around very fast. And now everything's fine now. Blah, 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 blah. And the moment I finished answer her question, she said, oh, cool. I heard their burger is really good. What do you want to order? Right? So the moment after I finished answering her question, she think now is the time to jump into the next item on my agenda, which is ordering. So she go ahead and do that. Right? That's how people behave when they have their own agenda in mind, and it's happening in many different scenarios. For example, when teachers trying to rush to finishing all their material in a class, rather than caring about if the students understand, can process that information. And also in office setting, for example, when you are in a conversation with your team to make the Q4 planning, and you contribute your idea, hey, it's Q4, it's holiday season, I think we should take into the consideration that people may want to take more time off, especially during 2020. It's a hard time to spend more time with their family and friends, right? We should take that into account. And then your boss just said, oh, good point. And then he move on. He move on with his own agenda, just say, good point. And also when you are having a conversation with friends, after you share some personal stories, what happened in your life, and someone just said, cool. Oh, have you watched the game last night? Right? This scenario can happen in all different places. But the common part is, it's always because some people try to control the conversation only by following their own agenda. That's what Chris means, being in a hurry. Why is bad? I think the reason is pretty obvious now, right? Just take a second to think about the last time that happened to you. How do you feel? You feel upset. You feel disengaged, right? Because people just rushing to get over their own agenda instead of acknowledging your input. So you feel not being heard. What happens after we feel not being heard? We disengage. What happens after we disengage? We stop listening. And the moment we stop listening, the conversation is over. It's just like someone is doing a presentation. The moment I found I don't like that person, I don't like whatever he's talking about, that's when I disengage and stop listening. I start to check my phone. Even though from the outside, okay, that person is still during the presentation, people still listening in this audience area, but people just checking their phone, checking their email, checking their Instagram. Not really listening. It's even worse in the hostage negotiation scenario. Because how can you negotiate with the bad guys if they don't listen? That's why Chris pointed out that do not just think about following the agenda that where you learn from the so-called negotiation training. Instead, focusing on establish the rapport between you and bad guys. because only after that they can really engage and listen. That's when we can negotiate. In that case, we should stop talking and try to keep the bad guys talk as much as possible. At least in Chris' word, when they're talking, they're not shooting. That's how being in a hurry can potentially jeopardize a negotiation or any conversation. After all, if nobody's listening, it's meaningless. It's meaningless how much we talk. Right? It may make us feel good, right? We may feel like, oh yeah, look at all these awesome points I'm making. They must love me. I'm so great. But actually, what I'm doing right now, it's just annoying and really meaningless and jeopardizing the conversation. Now we know being in a hurry can potentially jeopardize a conversation and a negotiation. But have you think about why exactly we feel the rush, we feel being in a hurry in the first place? Chris made a great point. He said because a lot of people treat negotiation as a battle. They think the more they attack, the more likely they will win. They even think that they can win a negotiation by cornering the other party, by making the other party speechless. That's why they keep pushing forward, move forward and forward by speaking more and more. That cannot be more wrong. In Chris' mind, he thinks the goal of a conversation or negotiation is to uncover as much information as possible. I'll say that again. Uncover as much information as possible. If you think about it, it makes sense. It's like playing Texas Hold'em. Think about, what if you know what other party have in their hands? It might not guarantee you win the game, but knowing what other party have in their hands can help you to play your hands to the best potential, right? It's the same in negotiation and other conversations. If the other party talk more and more, the more you will know about them, the more you will know about a situation. In that case, you can leverage that information to drive and take the conversation to where you want to go to achieve your goal. That's how you win a conversation or a negotiation. That's an aha moment. When I realized that, from the bottom of my heart, not only I choose to listen, I like to listen more. Because I know the more the other party talk, the more I will know about that person, the other party, the more likely I will use that information to achieve my goal. Let's do a quick summary. We talked about that in a negotiation, if you just really want to follow your own agenda and be in a hurry, you can potentially jeopardize the negotiation. Because when we are in a hurry, we make people feel upset and disengaged and not being heard. So they stop listening. And when the other party stop listening, the negotiation is officially over, no matter how much we speak. And we also talk about why that happens, why people sometimes feel the rush to hurry, to follow an agenda and to speak. Because sometimes people think a negotiation is a battle. The more they attack, the more likely they will win. But it cannot be more wrong. The truth is, we should treat a negotiation as a process to uncover as much information as possible. Because the more we know about the other party, the more likely we can leverage that information to actually drive and win the negotiation. Okay, that's all I have for you in this video. Please click the like button if you enjoy the content, and comment down below. Let me know how do you feel when the other party is in a rush and they finish their own agenda without acknowledging what you are talking about. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.